gods, as Athena herself has foretold. Or is it Athens you have come to save?
No! I can't! We must not stop!
And when the oracle looked into his soul, she saw a beast as well as a man. Once a captain in the Spartan army, Kratos had begun his command with only 50 soldiers. But soon his numbers grew to the thousands. His tactics were brutal.
I offer you the power of the greatest of all the gods.
Drunk with power, he was feared by all. His wife was the only one to brave his fury.
They were not there by chance! By the gods, why would Athena send one such as you? Your brute strength alone will not be enough to destroy Ares. Only one item in the world will allow you to defeat a god. Pandora's box, which lies far beyond the walls of Athens, hidden by the gods across the desert to the east. Many have gone in search of Pandora's box. None have returned.
Who are you?
All will be revealed in good time. And when all appears to be lost, Kratos, I will be there to help.
Welcome back to more pause screen. No, it's more original God of War. Welcome back to Let's Play God of War, the first God of War, the original God of War, the 2005 God of War, the first one, you get it, the very first one. Welcome back. I was just taking a look at the options menu there, just, because I haven't had a chance to actually do that yet as I play the game. It's the same amount of options that you get in the main menu. I just wanted to show it off, that you can change, the full screen thing and control display and stuff from within the game itself. You don't have to exit out to the main menu if you don't want to. Whatever, that's that. Right now, we're exploring a optional little side area called the Suicide Bluffs. People that watched the first episode know that this place is very important. Standing here gives you a foreboding feeling like your ultimate fate were tied to this very ledge, and it's true. It basically is. I mean, we haven't seen much of this area yet in the franchise so far. We saw it very briefly in Chains of Olympus, but now, from here on out, this place, the Suicide Bluffs, is very, very important to the tale of Kratos. A lot of his most important decisions and bleakest moments are tied to that location, to the Suicide Bluffs. But we'll get back to the Suicide Bluffs way, way, way later on. For now, we actually have our quest to begin. All this time, it was all just, running around doing what the gods wanted. But now we have the actual quest, the actual main objective that the gods have given us. It's time to actually go and get what we need to kill an Olympian, to kill Ares. For that, we need Pandora's box. But to get Pandora's box, we actually have to get to where the box is, because it's certainly not here. So, yeah, let's begin in this nice little transitionary episode. This little video glitch there. That's why you saw briefly the Norse Kratos doing a little dance. Welcome to the Sewers of Athens. This episode is all about the transitory quest, the actual journey to get to where the box is. The next 5 episodes after this, we're going to be in the place itself, doing what we can to actually get Pandora's box. But for now, in this pretty short episode, we're just going to get to where we need to go. We just need to actually get to the place where the box is supposed to be. So that's what we're doing. It's not going to take that long. Again, it's a pretty short episode, but pretty short episode. Not that combat heavy. Of the areas that we have to go through to get to where the box is hidden, it's only really this area, the Sewers of Athens, that is truly super duper combat focused. Like the Sewers of Athens is basically just a glorified straight line with waves upon waves of enemies that are coming at you. They're not infinite enemies. There are a set amount of them, so I'm doing the smart thing here in the high difficulty playthroughs and just lording a few at a time so that I can actually, not get overwhelmed and not get killed super, super quickly. Because again, God mode, very difficult. I don't want to die that much, and so far this playthrough I haven't yet. That's going to start changing next episode, because this transitionary section where we go from the opening hours of the game from Athens and the cold open of the Aegean Sea into the actual main meat of the game, this is the last part of the game that I would consider to be truly easy, for lack of a better word. Because after this, we're going to be introduced to new enemy variants that we're going to be contending with for basically the rest of the playthrough, and they are far, far more difficult than what we're fighting here. By the way, I'm just doing the smart thing and opening up chests that are further away from me just so I have a chance to stock up, because again, don't open health or magic chests the second you actually see them. You don't want to actually waste precious refills of magic and or health in case you're going to need them later. In this case, I am going to need them later, so I'm doing the smart thing and just saving them and not wasting them until I actually get hurt or until I waste all my magic on a particularly difficult battle. Like in this case, where I'm using Medusa's Gaze to make quick work of the Minotaurs. Again, Medusa's Gaze, they teach you very early on that it's very, very helpful against Minotaurs and mythological creatures. I think Gorgons are immune to it, but mythological creatures like Minotaurs and other mid-sized myth enemies like Minotaurs, it's pretty good to use Medusa's Gaze on them to freeze them. It's mainly just the Minotaurs. There aren't really that many other mid-sized myth creatures that you're going to be using Medusa's Gaze on. Anyway, again, now I'm going back to refill on another chest that's further away, just so I always have something relatively close by so I can do my refills and stuff. Anyway, the transitionary section of this game is the last truly easy part of this game. This first part, the Sewers of Athens, is very combat focused, and then after that we're going to get into a big puzzle section, and then we're going to have kind of a combination of both puzzle and enemy combat, and then we're going to be at the place that we need to be to actually begin our adventure to get Pandora's box. So, yeah, that's what this episode's going to be. Nice, short, to the point, sweet. Good stuff. A relatively short journey. I could use Medusa's Gaze on the Cyclopes that are here, but they're very, very large creatures, and my Medusa's Gaze is not that powered up, which means it's going to take a lot of magic to freeze them. And even after I freeze them, it's going to take a lot of hits from my Blades of Chaos to actually, break them, to actually shatter them into a million pieces, and by which point they might have broken out. So it's good to use Medusa's Gaze on mid-sized creatures like Minotaurs, mainly Minotaurs. Again, I'm going to reiterate, because it's going to be mainly Minotaurs you use Medusa's Gaze on. And for these other creatures, a combination of other things is probably better. Your Blades of Chaos, Poseidon's Rage, infinitely useful. So always make it a point to level it up to level 2 as soon as possible. Level 3 you can wait on for Poseidon's Rage. All it does in level 3 is make it stronger, but at level 2 you get that you get this where you can mash circle to rain down heavier lightning bolts on enemies and stuff. You want that power as soon as possible, which is why in this particular game you want to make it a point to upgrade Poseidon's Rage first, as opposed to your Blades of Chaos first, because it's just good to have that power, especially in the higher difficulties. Not much to talk about here, though. Again, this is a very straightforward combat section. It's literally just a glorified straight line to get to the end of the Sewers of Athens. You don't have to kill most of these enemies. I'm pretty sure if you just run all the way to the end, then the exit's going to be there and you can just go. I'm pretty sure speedrunners do that all the time. The reason I'm fighting the enemies at all is because we're playing on a high difficulty. This is not a speed run, and I want as many red orbs as possible so that I can actually power up my shit. Speaking of red orbs and powering stuff up, I mentioned previously in the previous few videos that you're going to have enough red orbs. This is one of the God of War games where you're going to have enough red orbs by the end of it to actually power up everything. And that's basically true. You don't have to be super careful about breaking every single red orb, breaking open every single red orb chest to actually have enough red orbs to, power up everything. again, I mentioned before that I missed like 15 red orb chests and like a few white and like a couple of white chests that would have had orbs originally. And I still ended up getting enough red orbs to power up everything. The caveat for that is that while you will get enough red orbs to power up everything, you're only going to get all those red orbs at the very end of the game. It's a very similar situation to Chains of Olympus, but even less useful than in Chains of Olympus. Because in Chains of Olympus, you might recall that towards the very end of the game, there was one final combat encounter area in the Fields of Elysium where, you know, you're going to get so many red orbs, you're going to get more red orbs than you had when you went in there, and you would probably have enough to finish powering up whatever you had left over to power up in terms of upgrades. By the way, that music cue tells me that there's no more enemies here to fight, which now means I'm speeding back to open some chests and get some refills. Anyway, in Chains of Olympus, towards the end, you had an opportunity to get a whole bunch of red orbs to finish powering up everything. In this game, you also get a whole bunch of red orbs, but the red orbs that you get, for some reason the music cue played again. For some reason, the red orbs that you get, well, not for some reason, the red orbs that you get from the final boss. So you are technically going to have lots and lots and lots of red orbs before the actual credits start to roll. But you're not going to be able to and you are going to be able to finish powering up basically everything you have, but you're not going to be able to actually use that stuff in the main game because the giant surplus of red orbs that you get from the final boss himself. And after the final boss, I don't know if you know, but after the final boss, there's no combat. There's no puzzles or anything left after that. There's just, you know, the end game. So the end of the game, the credits. So while you will get enough red orbs to finish powering up everything in this game, the caveat is that you're probably going to get them through the final boss, which means that by the time you can actually finish powering everything up, it's going to be after you've finished fighting enemies for the entirety of the game. Anyway, the battle for Athens is raging. You see Ares even further along now. That's really cool. Anyway, all of this to say that you can finish powering up everything in this game. You're not going to be able to use everything. So I'm being very careful in the order that I power things up because, again, while I will be able to actually, you know, upgrade everything before the credits roll, I'm not going to be able to use everything fully upgraded, so that's the caveat situation. By the way, this door is now open, so if you wanted to get that white chest that I got from the previous video, now you can do that. You can also get this white chest to get the final Gorgon's Eye. I believe this is the 18th Gorgon's Eye and my 3rd health upgrade, so now it's, you know, there's only one more health upgrade in the game, and it's something that we're not going to get for a long, long while. It's going to be a bonus thing that we'll talk about later. Now we enter the Desert of Lost Souls. The Sewers of Athens was our big combat area. The Desert of Lost Souls is going to be our big puzzle area. So first we're going to get a cutscene establishing what's going on, and then we'll get into it.
Kratos, the journey forward is perilous, but one you must complete if you are to have any hope of saving Athens.
The Oracle spoke of Pandora's box. Can it be real?
The box exists. It is the most powerful weapon a mortal can wield.
And with such a weapon, I could defeat Ares.
With the box, many things become possible, and so it is hidden well, far across the desert of lost souls. There is safe passage through the deadly sands, but only those who hear and follow the Sirens' song will discover it. You must find the Sirens, Kratos. Only they can guide you to Kronos, the Titan.
A Titan lives?
Kronos is the last. Zeus has commanded him to wander the desert endlessly, the Temple of Pandora chained to his back, until the swirling sands rip the very flesh from his bones. Stay true to the song of the Siren, Kratos. Your journey begins here. Pray it leads you back to Athens, with Pandora's box. Follow the song of the Sirens, Kratos. Find and destroy them all, and the path through the deadly sands will be open to you.
Well, that's morbid. We saw in Chains of Olympus a whole bunch of chained up titans. I guess they were dead, or it's a retcon that more titans are alive. Well, either way, welcome to the Desert of Lost Souls. I'm speeding through because I am doing something here. I am actually going ahead and opening all 7 of the chests that are hidden in the Desert of Lost Souls first before actually moving forward with the actual, what I'm actually supposed to be doing, which is finding the temple entrance, and which is, well, the temple entrance, the exit of the Desert of Lost Souls, and beginning my hunt for the Sirens. But before that, I'm actually doing this very specific pathing here to open all of the chests that are hidden in the Desert of Lost Souls. There are 7 in total. The collectibles guide that I've mentioned a few times now in previous videos, that is going to be that's going to cover all these chests as well. So don't worry about it. So don't worry if you lose your place while watching this particular video, because there is going to be a collectibles guide with timestamps that's going to help you actually track down these chests. It's a very unique area. It's not something we get in God of War often. Again, the first God of War liked to do this a lot. This wide linear situation where you get these big open areas. There's only one actual exit and one particular set of things you have to do, but you get this big wide area to explore. This technically counts as one of those wide linear areas, I guess. It's a little bit different than the one we saw in Athens before, and the ones that we're going to be seeing later on in the game. But yeah, I mean, this technically does count as one. I believe now I'm just double checking to make sure if I had enough red orbs to power up something. I decided that it's time to power up Medusa's Gaze. You want to power up Medusa's Gaze fairly early, purely for the stronger freeze beam. What the stronger freeze beam means is that you're going to be using less magic because it's going to take less time to actually freeze enemies. Medusa's Gaze already doesn't use that much magic, but now you're going to be using even less magic to freeze your enemies because it's going to freeze enemies faster, which is exactly what you want. That's exactly how I plan to use it in this. I know that in its final level you get like a new attack where you can actually do like a big area of effect thing that freezes enemies all around you, but I don't worry about that too much. Just the stronger freeze beam is enough. Anyway, now we're introduced to Sirens. Sirens are best fought using Zeus's lightning bolts, Zeus's fury. A combination of Zeus's fury and some regular attacks here and there. But mostly Zeus's fury. Like you're gonna see, it takes a lot of hits with the Blades of Chaos to get them weak enough for the QTE. Whereas using Zeus's fury is obviously faster. They're also very, very, very quickly. They're deceptively fast, where they can strafe around you and then very, very quickly fire off their own little beam of energy and try to hit you with them. Anyway, that is the first of 3, I believe, and this is the only real freebie siren that you get. Yeah. There are 2 more sirens. That's the only freebie siren that we really get, because the other 2 are going to be flanked by bodyguards once we actually find them. They're also in random locations throughout the desert. I think it's a pretty random location where they're actually supposed to be. She doesn't say anything different. I think it's a pretty random where they're actually supposed to be in the desert, so I go searching for a long, long while, and I was not lucky to find them quick. I did not find them quick. I got all the way back to the exit, and it just took forever to fucking find them. I did not do well in this whole desert situation at all, but finally I found one of them, so... God, that must have been like times 500 speed. It took many minutes to actually track down a siren. I was not happy with how long it took me to find the siren. Anyway, the other 2 sirens that you find in the desert are both going to be flanked by 2 Minotaurs. This is a situation where you're going to have to probably deal with the Minotaurs without the use of Medusa's Gaze, purely because you're going to want to focus on taking out the siren first, and the siren is weakest to Zeus's fury, to Zeus's lightning bolts. So, You can also use Poseidon's Rage, so that's also an option. Yeah, it wasn't fun finding the Sirens in the desert. It took a long time. Obviously for us, in this video, it's not going to take long to actually find them, because, you know, magic of editing, but the actual playthrough, oh boy, it took, I was very unlucky with how long it took me. Killing the Siren doesn't kill the Minotaurs, so I skipped the Minotaur fight here because we know how to kill Minotaurs. It took a little bit longer than normal because I wasn't using that much magic. Although I did end up using a little bit of Medusa's Gaze, which is why I have so little magic now. And obviously the Poseidon's Rage didn't help anything at all. So now I'm going into this fight with this final Siren and 2 Minotaurs, because she is going to be flanked by 2 Minotaurs with no magic. With essentially no magic, I'm going to have to take care of all of them without it, so that's going to be fun. Thankfully, by this point, you should have Blades of Chaos level 3, so you can do parries. When it comes to Minotaur attacks, the Siren, you can block everything she does, but she's very quick, and you're going to have to lower your guard to actually attack her, so she's probably going to get some pot shots in. When it comes to the Minotaurs, they have a few attacks with the hammer. The most dangerous one is the one where they jump up in the air and smash their hammer down to the ground. When they do that, they're going to do this shockwave thing. If you're like standing right next to the Minotaur, the shockwave is not going to hurt you, and you can in fact block their hammer strike and do a parry if you want. But if you're far enough away, the shockwave of the hammer blow to the ground is going to damage you, and you won't be able to block it, so you have to roll out of the way of it. Very dangerous. They do a decent amount of damage. Minotaurs overall are not that difficult, but if you don't have any magic with you, then it's a very, very time-consuming fight. And you're going to see that a few times throughout the rest of the game, where I'm going to be facing a Minotaur. The Minotaur themselves aren't that difficult, but it's going to be such a long slog of a battle in God mode because of just how much health everything has, and because of just how little damage you do in comparison, and because of the fact that Minotaurs can also block your attacks eventually after a while. If you hit them a few times, they just start getting wise to your tactics and start blocking your attacks. So that's not fun. But with this final Siren dead, we've opened the door, and we can now move on. But of course, we still have these 2 Minotaurs. We don't have to kill them if you don't want to, but I'm going to because I don't know, I just wanted to. It took almost everything I had, but I killed it. Yay! With the Minotaurs and all the Sirens dead, we can leave now. We've opened the 7 chests, we've killed the 3 Sirens, we've even killed the 4 Minotaurs that were protecting those last 2 Sirens. And now, we can just get the hell out of here and move on towards the end of the video, because again, we're already almost done. The Athena statue doesn't talk to you anymore, and we're already towards the end of this whole section. We're not totally done yet. We still have one more combat puzzle, and then one more battle, and then we're actually finished for this video. But let's get into it. Let's get into what our next trap is going to be leading into the big area that we're working our way towards. Conveyor belt. Ledge is too high, so we have to go ahead and use a box to actually give ourselves the proper amount of height to reach the ledge. Fortunately, of course, we have enemies to contend with, armored enemies, of course, because it can't just be the unarmored ones. That would be too easy. I did not do great in this puzzle. I did way better in this puzzle in my practice playthrough, but for the actual main playthrough, the recording curse, yeah, it did not go great, as you're gonna see. The trick is try to keep the enemies at bay as much as you can. Really, in God mode, the actual trick is try not to waste too much magic, because after this, you're going to get into a battle with Sirens, and you're going to want to conserve as much of your magic as possible for that battle, which is why I, foolishly tried to refill my magic here so that I could try to escape the area with as full of a magic bar as possible. And I thought for a second here that I was finally close enough, but I didn't commit to the double jump. I potentially could have made that jump if I had actually gone through with it, but I decided not to, and now I'm paying for it. the longer you stay in this conveyor belt, the more enemies show up to try and slow you down. We start with 2, but I think after you kill a few or after enough time has passed, a third one is actually gonna... Oh god, I don't know why I didn't try and jump. I don't know why I didn't try and jump. I should have jumped there. I could have made it. Now 4 of them show up. It's awful. And more are just gonna keep showing up, so you just have to... Just gotta commit to it and just gotta take the leap. So there we go. Ugh. I did very, very badly in that puzzle. In my actual practice playthrough, I did really great in that puzzle. I got out of there before a third enemy jumped in to join the fray. But you have to try to exit that puzzle with as much magic as possible, and I didn't do a good job of that. Here we're introduced to the character of Pathos Verdes III, someone we're going to be learning a lot more about shortly. And learning more about the Temple of Pandora, which is where we're going. Oh, God. I did terrible in that puzzle, and it's going to cost me moving into this fight. This is pretty cool, blowing the horn. Getting this parting the sands situation. I like it. But regardless of how shitty I did in the previous puzzle, we're now moving on to our final challenge before making it to the Temple of Pandora, making it to the great temple constructed by the architect of the gods, Pathos Verdes III. Yeah. I really wanted to be in a situation where, like in my practice playthrough, I was able to get into this battle without having to open the chests, but it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, here is a cutscene. Okay, the final battle of this video, and the final battle that gets us to the Temple of Pandora, is against Sirens. Ideally, you would have already been starting this battle with full magic without having to open the chests from before. Go ahead and just let loose with some Poseidon's Rage, some Zeus's Lightning Bolts. These Sirens are a little bit different than the ones you fought in the desert. They have different attacks. They don't just strafe around and shoot little bolts at you. You know, when they have the opportunity, they will do other stuff. They will try to suck you in with their wailing breath. They're just a little bit more annoying than the ones in the desert. They're not that completely dangerous. You've seen they've already taken quite a few hits at me, and I didn't take that much damage yet. Sirens are fast and annoying, but they don't do that much damage to you compared to undead soldiers, compared to Minotaurs. They're not that bad. There's a lot of them, though, which is the annoying part of this battle. Ideally, you would have gone into this battle with full magic without having to open the chests. You could use all of your magic you wanted in this battle, and then after that, you would have had a full magic refill going into the Temple of Pandora once you finish killing the Sirens. But it wasn't to be. Either way, the battle is not that difficult. It's just Sirens. They're fast, they will take a lot of pot shots at you, but the pot shots themselves don't do that much damage, even in God mode. A combination of Blades of Chaos, Zeus's Lightning Bolt, and Poseidon's Rage will be enough to take them out very, very easily and very, very quickly. Here's another cutscene. Alright, I will see you all next time for more Let's Play God of War. We've made it to the Temple of Pandora. Yeah, next time we'll talk about it. So, see you then, everybody. Bye-bye.
Kronos, the last of the mighty Titans, emerged from the desert sands. On his back, Pandora's temple awaited, massive and patient, ready to challenge all who went in search of its guarded treasure. For 3 days, Kratos climbed the sheer walls of the mountain. He knew he would either recover Pandora's box or perish inside the cursed temple, never to return to the world of man.